The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
The AdvoCare Cup Series steers away from its oval tracks and takes a right turn into Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, home of Road America, hosting racing since the late 1940s and racing that started on public roads until government laws banned racing on said public roads due to spectator safety concerns after a car veered into a crowd during a race at Watkins Glen, killing a child. The racing did not stop, however. It nestled into the Wisconsin wilderness and gave birth to Road America, a track layout that has remained mostly unchanged in 40 years. Road America has hosted everything imaginable on its historic circuit: SCCA events, kart, IndyCar, Indy Racing League, the Lionheart IndyCar Series, NASCAR, IMSA, and even the prestigious 24 Hours of Lemons. Its circuit is best summed up by the words of Robin Miller, who said, "It's the best taste of road racing in North America." Its circuit will now play host to round 13 of the AdvoCare Cup schedule. Let's see. Oh boy. AdvoCare Cup schedule. And we've already seen fantastic racing and amazing finishes and controversy this year. How will the first road course race of the season play out? Well, we'll find out live tonight on our flag-to-flag coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series 175K. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazik. Joining me in the booth is local cheesehead Tanner Sharp. In the production truck, spinning the dials, moving the sliders, and making us sound twice as good as we really look, is Amjad Yaman, who is using cameras provided to us by Dougie Beard. Tanner, you only live about a half hour from the Speedway, so tell us today what kind of challenges faces our drivers today.
And hello to you too there, Brian, and welcome race fans to my home state and home racetrack of Road America. Road America is a challenging racetrack. These guys can be turning right and left. And I'm telling you, it's a test of just patience, and these guys are just going to be going like crazy trying to catch each other, and this road course really provides true road racing. Today, these guys are going to be turning 27 laps. That's 108 miles, and so about the fuel load, or I should not fuel load, 60%. And that's about 9 to 11 laps. The challenges are today, man, these guys are just going to be, you have to be patient, especially dealing with a 3,400-pound race car. And it's cloudy today, so there's a lot of grip on the racetrack. If it was sunny, it would be really, really challenging. So, to get an idea on what this 4-mile road course is like, let's hand it to our little lap guide here on GSRC.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Chevy SS, so let's do a lap around Road America. Coming down to turn 1, it's the fastest part of the course with the car hitting over 180 miles an hour. You've got a heavy braking zone and a great place to try to execute a pass. Be gentle on the power at the exit to avoid spinning the car, and hold left to set up for turn 3. This is one of the most important corners on the track. Your run out of the corner is going to have a big impact on your lap time, so focusing on the exit will pay dividends. There was a writer for a car magazine who once described driving a stock car on a road course like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer. The Moraine Sweep makes the comparison clear with the incredible speed you'll gather down this snaking stretch. Turn 5 will be another great place for an overtake, but be forewarned that the braking is downhill with a slight bend. Those will complicate matters and tends to cause drivers to overshoot this left-hander frequently. From there, it's a short blast up to 6, where the crest will make it difficult to get the car woed up. Balancing the car around here is certainly an art. Another quick run, and you'll just brush the brakes into 7 before hitting the hurry downs. If you're having trouble finding your way around another driver, this bend sometimes offers a good place for a surprise attack. You still don't want to overshoot the turn, but if you do, thankfully it's not far before the carousel, so you won't lose much time. This turn will test your patience though. You're dropping downhill the whole way and the car loves to understeer. But a wise line will take you a bit wide so that you can square off the exit and get a run towards the kink. Granted, I wouldn't advise trying to pass into the kink if you catch someone. Even in these big heavy cars, it's frighteningly fast and will punish the smallest of mistakes with a race-ending wreck. Now we're in the kettle bottoms and you'll want to line up the car for the braking zone of Canada Corner. This is another spot where ambition is often greater than the grip available, and drivers sail it off into the kitty litter all the time. The track is going to climb back uphill though, and once again you'll just graze your brake pedal to get the car to turn into 13. Then, switch back quick and be careful to slow it down in the curved braking zone for the final corner. This is another critically important turn to nail the exit on. Unlike the other long straights, this has a huge climb uphill where any lack of momentum is going to be made worse. Hopefully, you kept it all together. If so, you finished a lap around Road America.
And that is our little lap guide around Road America, the big old 4-mile road course. It is going to be very tricky for these drivers to try to gain track position. But before we get on to all the racing details about the track and how these guys are going to favor, let's check out our championship point standings after Dover. Scott Ettrick currently leads the chase standings with 404 points and 4 wins. He's the only driver that has multiple wins this season. Jonathan Cadell sitting in the second spot with a win. Jake Wright third. Tommy Ryan fourth. James Krahula in fifth. Ryan Howard in sixth. Ricky Hart in seventh. Dan Murray in eighth. Drew Carroll in ninth, who does not have a win, and Matt Lacrosse, who does not have a win also, and Brian, who is outside the top 10 that don't have wins but are trying to get a win today.
Well, outside of the 10 is the number 7 of Rich Jetty. He is in 11th in points. Don Runkle Jr. is in 12th. Nick Cohan, 13th. Rhett McBride in 14th. Pierre Deigel in 15th. Jody Green in 16th. Now on the outside of the chase grid looking in, you've got Josh King in 17th. Paul Pepper in a tie for 17th. And then you got Rick Thompson there in 19th and DJ Beverly in 20th. So kindly leave that up there on screen, Mr. Amjad. But if you look on screen there, you'll see 12 has 305 points. And you will see that 19th has 279. So that's separated by 26 points between a good 7 or 8 drivers. Now here's the other thing to keep in mind. Our Talladega winner from a couple weeks ago, Jeff Ward, he has a win, but he is not into the top 30 in points. So if he is able to run a couple more races and get up into the top 30 in points, well, that's going to leave guys like McBride and Green and King, Pepper. That's going to put those guys back another step into that. So just another ripple in play today.
Yeah, definitely. And if that's the case there, Brian, and more than likely could be the case, that puts the pressure on those guys who are not currently in the chase just yet. And that would put pressure on Jody Green, because that would knock Jody Green out if that happened. So a lot of pressure on these guys trying to get a win before the chase starts.
Absolutely, and one of those drivers that is feeling the pressure, but not so much anymore, and he'll tell us why. We've got in our pre-race interview Pierre Deigel. Pierre, you got a copy?
I got a perfect copy, Brian.
All right. So, Pierre, we talked a little bit before we went on air, but so you're not going to be running with the AdvoCare Cup series schedule the rest of the year. Tell the viewers at home why.
Well, first of all, I just feel that this new car with the low downforce package doesn't fit me very well, since I come from an open-wheel road course background. So I've decided to just move out of the way a little bit, let these guys race it out, and I'll be spotting for my good buddy Jake Wright for the rest of the season.
Now, you guys have very strong ties back into the Lionheart IndyCar series, our presenting sponsor tonight, and also
Absolutely.
runs Wednesdays on the Global Sim Racing channel. How did that all kind of come together? Just friendship through iRacing, or did you guys know each other before you got into it?
Well, James last season ran the Lionheart IndyCar series with us. He wasn't my teammate at the time because he is this season in Lionheart. And basically, when he started this league, he reached out to us and told us, "Do you guys want to help each other promote each of our leagues?" And that's the way it went, basically.
Sounds great. So, but you still, for the viewers at home, you still might be you're clearly probably going to be running Lionheart the rest of the year, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. That's an absolute certainty. I'll be running Lionheart for the rest of the season.
Sounds fantastic. So, from the spotter stand, what's going to be one of the big things that you're going to be trying to coach Jake on tonight?
Well, driving wise, he can beat me at any track. So driving wise, I have nothing to tell him. It's going to be more strategy wise with the tires, the fuel, and everything like that to keep him out of trouble with lap cars, that sort of stuff.
Sounds great. Well, hey, we're going to let you get back up to the spotter stand and coach Jake there and see if they can get him into victory lane. He had a good shot at it last night in the Coastal Safety Auditors Grand National Series. Think he's got what it takes tonight?
Oh, I think so. Lesson number 1 for him tonight is going to be do not speed on pit road. That's the biggest thing that he needs to do today.
Sounds great, Pierre. We'll catch you down the road.
Have a good show, guys.
Thank you. That was a spotter now for Jake Wright in the number 27 machine. That was Pierre Deigel. But we have our pole lap, our Savage Spinners pole lap. And surprise, surprise, it's Scott Eckrich. Remember, kids, Savage Spinners are unique river and stream lures created in the Pacific Northwest, handmade quality from the United States to entice fish at an affordable cost. So there we go. We're watching his pole lap right now, and he is working his way under the Sargento Bridge, this long rundown from a marine sweep into turn 5. Tanner, how would you handle that one?
Yeah, turn number 5 is a rarely tricky corner because it's almost a corner like you would enter Martinsville, but it's not. Turn 5 is a tough corner, and then you go uphill to turn 6, and you got to get on the brakes while you're going uphill. Then you take a left. Then you go down the hurry downs down turn number 8, which is a hard left. After that, you go to underneath the Johnsonville Bridge, through the carousel, and through turn number 10.
The carousel is the corner that feels like it just won't ever end because he gets in pretty aggressively through here. And you really have to attack this corner differently. This is where a lot of road guys come into play. The oval guys struggle at this corner because you have to enter and drive it into the middle and then let it float up into the middle and get a straight exit down. And now here he comes through the kink. A lot of different strategies on how to play that, different braking markers. But as he works his way down towards Canada Corner, this is going to be, I feel, a great passing opportunity for a lot of our drivers. Hard onto the binders, down into the corner, around that little right-hander. And we're going to have another passing attempt or passing corner up here, but I believe it is the Global Sim Racing Zone, Kevin Brown, that says any corner is a passing corner if you're brave enough, just like any zoo is a petting zoo if you're brave enough. So here he goes, working his way through turn 14, but up this extremely long front stretch. But I'll tell you what, he made it work. He made that Toyota sing all the way to the pole.
Oh, yes, he did. And the toughest corners, in my opinion, just in my personal opinion, is going to be down in turn number 5, which guys can get hard on brakes, and it's easily to overdrive, and it's easy to get into somebody there. Then you go uphill to turn 6, down to turn 7, that's to hurry downs, and turn 8 is another very tough corner, very similar to turn number 5. That has a hard left-hander. Then you go underneath the Johnsonville Bridge, and that takes you through the carousel. And that carousel, operating a 3,400-pound stock car, especially in these Gen 6 Cup cars, is going to be very, very tricky to do.
That it most certainly is, but hey, we showed you the pole lap. Let's show you how everybody else qualified here at Road America. On pole, Scott Eckrich with James Krahula to his outside. Jake Wright, we heard from his spotter in the pre-race, and Jake Wright was a good contender last night in the Grand National Series that was also live on the Global Sim Racing channel, and channel that is. And he got busted speeding on pit road. So, Rhett McBride lining up to his outside in position number 4. Brian Mellendorf, your winner last night, riding up in position number 5. Tommy Ryan starting 6th, followed by Jeff Ward, Jonathan Cadell in 8th, Ricky Harden 9th, and Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement, in 10th.
And outside the top 10, these guys are going to have to try to fight for track position all race long. And that's going to be Ryan Howard in 11th, Rich Jetty in 12th place tonight. Josh King will start 13th. Dan Murray, 14th place tonight. Woodrow Mahan starting 15th. Paul Pepper will start 16th. Jesse Fowler in 17th. Alec Marshall in 18th. Don Runkle Jr. in 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Jody Green, who's fighting, by the way, for that final chase spot.
In 21st, the last driver to report a time, Mark Norbert. Driver's not reporting time, which is very, very easy at a road course because if you get one tire off and you get a 1X, that nullifies your entire lap. So we've got Matt Lacrosse matching his car number in 22nd, Brandon Minnick 23rd, Benny Ellison 24th, 25th, Jason Swan, 26th, Rick Thompson, 27th, Nick Cohan. George Anzaldo is in there in 28th, but I don't believe he'll be racing tonight. He might be, right? I don't know. Calvin Filarski in 29th, 30th, Chad Stallman, and shotgun on the field, Bertel Surfs.
Well, Brian, Road America is a very tricky road course from my experience. I always have a hard time at the road racing, but if you really want to try to test out your road racing skills, and in my opinion, road racing is a place to where you can test your driving skills, and Road America is certainly a track to test those skills.
That it most certainly is. Something to point out tonight for your viewers at home. Typically, road course races are run without cautions, as we saw once again last night in the Grand National Series. But tonight, there's not any cautions that's going to be triggered by iRacing. The series does have an in-race admin, and really what they're going to be looking for is they have the ability to manually throw a caution, and they're only going to throw it for major incidents on track ahead of a lot of approaching cars. So basically, if let's say that coming through here on the opening lap, first through fifth, all wad up and wreck each other, blocks the track. Well, that warrants a caution, and that's what will bring out that caution. So typically, like we said, not a whole lot of cautions tonight, but that is something worth noting. Fields working their way down the Moraine Sweep straight into this very tricky turn 5. I have a feeling you're going to see drivers' nights made and ruined here in turn 5.
Whenever I come to Road America, I always like sitting in turn 5 because that's what happens at road courses here down in turn number 5. I like to switch off between turn 5 and turn 8 because that's where the most of the incidents really happen, but they do happen in Canada Corner at times too.
Canada Corner is a fun corner. It's just a whole bunch of different ways to get through there. Field is working their way towards that right now. Not quite there, but full pace lap here at Road America as well, so these drivers have a lot of time to think just about this first opening lap. A lot of them are probably going to focus on just keeping the fenders on the thing. I know I personally drove in the Grand National race last night, and my whole goal was to keep all 4 tires on the pavement for all the laps. And I'm proud of myself. I only went off track twice.
If I'm not mistaken there, Brian, I believe coming into entering turn number 7, right outside turn number 7, I believe there is a go-kart replica track, a replica track of Road America for the go-karts, for the kiddies to run there. I believe that's where it is. I can be mistaken. I haven't really ran the go-karts here before, so it just certainly looked like it.
And here's another interesting corner that the field is working up to.
Yeah.
This is the kink. So there's a lot of ways. It's a very, very fast right-hander. And we saw a number of guys in practice. If you miss the apex off just a little bit, you're going to find yourself off mowing that grass and hopefully not into the fence, but it is very possible. Here they were working their way up to Canada Corner. As we were talking about, a good passing zone right here. You can really kind of fool the guy. You can take a defensive line. You can go aggressive. You can really, drive it in there and hold and hit the brakes. Or drive it in there until you find Elvis and then hit the brakes. But then the problem is there's that kitty litter and the grass waiting for you if you miss that exit. So a lot of self-spins off that corner as well last night. So field now working their way up through Thunder Valley, up Bill Mitchell Bend, and they're going to be working their way around turn 14. And they're going to be working their way up that long and famous front stretch here at Road America, which shoots up into the sky, it almost feels like. Some of these race cars, it feels like you're going to just jump.
Yeah.
Field is in the control of Scott Eckrich, something I've only said a number of times already this season. Ford Mustang pace car is off, looking to make the green flag, and here he goes. Onto the loud pedal goes Eckrich. Green flag into the air. We're underway at Road America. Here we go. Krahula out by himself, right tucking in behind Eckrich. How are they going to handle turn 1? Millendorf got a great start. Bry did not get a great start. He falls back. Heavy braking going into turn 1. Is everybody going to be able to keep the nose clean? Wright and Krahula battling for position number 2 as they work their way off turn 1, down through turn 2 and into turn 3. Right now, Wright has the preferred line going through her, but he decides to give it up just a little bit and maybe try to get a run on exit. But Krahula is going to have the momentum coming off of turn 3.
Everybody right now trying to fan out, do everything they can, and try not to run each other over entering the corner of the racetrack. There was almost a close call with Ricky Hart and them guys back here in the close to the top 10 spot. You got Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll, as these drivers enter turn number 5, bumping each other just a little bit. There is some fender damage. I do see that. Oh, we do have a car rolling off the racetrack down turn number 4.
Who was that off of turn 4?
Number 98, Jesse Fowler, that was.
Well, luckily, you got plenty of time to make it up, but
Yeah, plenty of time to make it up, but every position counts at road racing because these guys look like are trying to play conservative as possible as these guys enter turn number 8, going underneath the Johnsonville Bridge and headed into the carousel, which is one of the hardest parts of the racetrack.
it is. I talked about it a little bit in the pre-race. It's just a corner that goes on and on and on forever. Now what I'll be curious to see is how can Jake Wright take the cake and try to get a run on Kahula. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there. You're going to mow the grass a little bit off the corner. Very wise, decides to roll off. Now he falls into the clutches of Mellendorf. Mellendorf, your winner last night. Here he goes, making it. Oh, no, just kind of showed the nose a little bit there. Nothing big and serious coming off of that corner. A little bit of dust getting kicked up as well.
There's a little corner, I mean, it's almost shaped like an S, but it's hard because you want to try to carry as much speed as possible without overdriving the corner. Here, there's the final corner right here, turn number 14, and headed on a long front straightaway, uphill, then downhill.
That is the case, completing lap number 1 at Road America of 27. Your best battle that I'm seeing on track right now is right here for the second position. Jake Wright following right into the tire tracks of James Krahula. Decided to brake a little earlier, kind of opened the door for Mellendorf just a bit, but Wright was able to run his line and pull away from Mellendorf here as they work their way down into turn number 3. Some of those camera shots, you can really see those front brakes glowing as these guys are hard onto the minders.
But yeah, and I don't know, I'm not 100% sure if the brakes really do wear out here in the iRacing service, but man, oh man, if they were, you would have to try to conserve your brakes just a little bit. Here's one of the toughest corners without hitting anybody is turn number 5. Jake Wright got pretty close to the back.
Got a little bit wound up to the back of Kahula there, but not close enough to be a serious threat to anything. As they stand right now, it's going to be, everybody's kind of falling in line. It's smooth sailing out front for Scott Eckrich. He's pulling away from these guys quite handsomely. Got about a 2-second lead right now. But everybody's just kind of falling in line and hanging out at the moment. And there you see, still the best battle on screen there for position. And here comes Wright off of the carousel, getting a good run. See how he can handle the kink. Takes a little wider of a line. Got it right that time, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to pull a move on Krahula, at least this early. We get down to about 2 to go, or 1 to go. You might see him sail it all the way into that corner from there. Let's jump back on screen. Battle for 7th between Tommy Ryan and Jonathan Cadell. Chevrolet versus Toyota, 6 versus 11. Right now, Lionheart in the lead in that battle for position number 7, but there you see, a couple cars wound up back there. Ricky Harden in the number 15, running a different paint scheme tonight, a little bit of black and yellow, matching the Northern Tool and Equipment sponsorship that typically is on the hood and quarter panels of Tommy Ryan. So a new look for Ricky Harden this week up in the Cheese State. Let's see, you see any other battles? What's that? Oh, Matt Lacrosse went for a little looper. Oh, Jody Green on pit road as well. Here we're going to go show you the replay of the spin. There he comes. Where was that at? Was that is that coming out of the carousel? Was that? Yeah, that was the front stretch. Okay. And he's just kind of got it back rolling. But Jody Green, Woodrow Mahan on pit road. It's a little early. I wonder if they had damage from some kind of contact or something like that. There you see the left side's up in the air for Mahan and for Jody Green. And Jody Green has disconnected. So there's that. Woodrow Mahan staying in pit road. I believe he's getting some damage fixed. Yeah, the right front fender there is kinked in just a little bit for Woodrow. Just a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see. Right now, I'm still seeing the best battle. And Woodrow Mahan has disconnected from the server as well. Right now, what are you thinking, director? Point me somewhere. Let's go back up to P2. Jake Wright, James Krahula. These two kind of have a magnet to each other. They're not getting too far away from each other. And as soon as I say that, Krahula ekes out just a little bit over Wright. Wright, it was very, very fast in the Grand National Series last night. It just had that speed. Ooh, big wiggle from Wright there as he was trying to get up through the power. Just wiggled it. Now he's falling into the to the trap of Brian Mellendorf. Mellendorf going to try to take a wide entry through turn 14, and let's see, he's going to try to get a run up that big front stretch, but I don't quite think he's going to have enough. There you see, looking out the front of Mellendorf, you see the rear bumper of Wright just pulling away just a little bit, so not having to do any kind of defensive maneuvers, at least at this point in juncture in the race. And poke the nose out again to Mellendorf, but not enough. I think he's just letting Wright know that he's there, and could push that issue a little bit. Let's jump back to that battle actually for position 10. 3 cars kind of under a gaggle. Drew Carroll has worked his way around Jonathan Cadell, and now we've got locked in a battle for 10th. Ricky Harden, Drew Carroll. Whoa! Cadell caught a little bit of the grass on the exit of the corner there. Got a little squirrely, but now we've got all these cars underneath a blanket toward each other heading down to turn 5.
Yeah, definitely. You got the top, you got second, third, and fourth place. You can fold over a blanket, still trying to battle, but trying to be patient out on the racetrack right now. It is early in the race, and the fuel window here at Road America in a 27-lap race is about 9 to 11 laps. So within the next few laps-ish, about 4 or 5 laps, we should see some guys entering pit road. I don't know how to do the pit strategy here. It's going to be certainly tough. It's not like any oval racing, that's for sure.
That is the case, and with the 9 to 10 laps or 9 to 11 laps in a 27-lap race, there's not really a whole lot of creative strategy you can pull. The winning maneuver last night was 9-9, and that would be it. So probably looking at a 2-stop race tonight for all these drivers.
Yeah, definitely. And these guys are going into the Canada corner, as we all like to call it here. It's a very tough corner, and it's a good corner to try to make up ground on the car ahead of you there too, Brian.
It is. You can be a hero or a zero. Everything can happen in Canada corner. As we're looking at Josh King kind of playing caboose to this group right here. And a little bit of dust off of the corner. Guys, I'm going to jump back up front. Eckrich's lead is shrunk. When we talked about it the first time, it was about 2 seconds. Now it's shrunken down to about half a second to 0.7 of a second between Krahula and Eckrich.
Oh yeah, the fastest car on the race between the top 4 cars is James Krahula. So he has been gaining on our late race leader Scott Eckrich along, and he's pulling Jake Wright and Brian Mellendorf along with him.
4 cars under a blanket as they work their way through turn 3 down the straightaway leading into turn 5. I don't think anybody's close enough to pull a move. I'm kind of keeping an eye on Mellendorf on right there. That's close enough to potentially try to be brave and outbrake somebody. And here he goes.
Here he goes.
Looking to make the move. Going into turn 5. Hard onto the binders. Mellendorf underneath Wright. Wright's not going to have any line of defense. Move Mellendorf up to position number 3. Kids, if you're watching at home, that is exactly how you outbrake somebody to pass.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, and sim racing fans, is a textbook pass. I mean, there was no contact needed. Nobody went off into the grass. That was just a pitch-perfect textbook pass.
Nobody hit each other. That's always the important part. But, like I said, it gets down to 2 to go. They might not be as cordial as they are right now at the moment.
They might use the old get the chrome horns out. But after this carousel here, Brian, you got this little kink up here. I don't know about you, but I would try to carry as much speed as I can without overdriving it through there.
There's a fine line there, yeah, because if you do carry too much speed, Mellendorf, almost as textbook as that pass was in turn 5, that was almost an example of how you overdrive the kink there. Because it's all about the apex you take.
And slipping and slide, Mellendorf had a big hiccup in Canadian corner there, and that allowed Jake Wright to catch up to his rear bumper, but no pass was made yet.
Not yet. Let's see if Wright... Oh, wow, Mellendorf really hard on the binders, locking him up, getting squirrely off the corner. That is not a corner you want to get loose off just because of how long the front stretch is and the way that you do pull a little bit of a draft in these cars. It's not major. We're looking out the rear bumper of Mellendorf at right now. But is Jake going to stay in line? He's going to, yeah, I think Wright's just kind of playing it smooth here. He's very, very seasoned around this track. It isn't an IndyCar in the Lionheart series, but he does have a ton of laps, and I believe he has 2 wins here in that series as well.
Well, the last time these guys were in this corner, coming off turn number 2 and underneath the Sargento Bridge, or turn number 3, I shall say, that's where Brian Mellendorf made the pass. He used that draft and got side by side with Jake Wright to use that textbook pass. And man, right now he's trying to hunt for second place.
He is. Well, the battle for that second, wow, Mellendorf got right to the rear bumper of Krahula there. That was kind of close quarters into turn 5, working their way up the hill to 6.
Other group of guys you could probably fold over a blanket here. You got Jeff Ward, who's just a little bit ahead, but right behind him you got Rhett McBride and Tommy Ryan. They're almost not door to door, but front to nose there. And let's see if Tommy Ryan can do anything with Rhett McBride here.
He's far enough back. I don't see a big bold maneuver. Whoa! As soon as I say that, he might have overshot that corner just a little bit.
Yep, that's turn number 8 right there, and you exit turn 8, get into the carousel underneath the Johnsonville Bridge, and then comes up the kink.
He's working his way through hurry downs right there as he got hard onto the binders and almost found the kitty litter waiting for him on the other side of it, but he was able to hold it all, keep it wound up. Let's kind of jump back here. Let me see here. Nick Cohan back in position number 20. He started, where did he start? 27th. And I know Nick is not a road course racer. He and I talked about that a little bit. There, he almost finds the cat litter waiting for him on the other side of it. But you know what? My best piece of advice to him was keep all 4 tires on the pavement, and that's exactly what he looks like he's doing. Up already 7 spots. Let's go back up to P2. Battle for second. Mellendorf on the inside of Krahula, working their way down the front stretch. And I think Krahula is very wisely just going to roll out of it and let Mellendorf by. And now Mellendorf setting sights, going off into turn 1 on the rear bumper of Scott Eckrich as they work their way down towards turn 3, but more importantly, as they creep up onto the first fuel stop of the night.
I really like how Brian Mellendorf is creating these passes in different corners of the racetrack, and man, he's got one more car to go, and that's our race leader, Scott Eckrich. I think, oh, we got something going on with Rhett McBride here.
Oh, Rhett McBride, way off the track. I think he overshot turn 3 there. We're going to find out here on the GSRC replay.
It's very simple to overdrive a corner here at Road America, man, and I'm telling you, especially if the sun is out, and oh yeah, he got heavy on the brakes there, overdrove it, got the kitty litter.
Whoa, wow. All sorts of drivers off on the other side of 5. Ricky Harden found the cat litter. Had to sail it back onto the track. Who was that up there? I think that was Ryan also. Took a very wide exit to turn 5.
Up turn 5 is one of those corners that you could really easily overdrive along with turn number 8, as in real time now. These drivers down in turn number 8, and he got sideways again.
Everybody onto the binders and hard.
Wow, he's got some front nose damage there too.
Right, aerodynamics don't matter a whole ton here.
Oh, and Harden's left, right. That's the way I play golf.
I'll tell you what, Ricky Harden the last couple of weeks, I'm gonna start calling him Mr. Slideways, because every time I look at that car, I can read the sponsor on the side.
Well, I'm telling you, he ain't giving up, that's for sure. Right now, oh, we got John Cadell here.
Joe Cadell is around. Oh, everybody hard onto the binders. There's the exit of Canada Corner, striking again. I think Cadell just lost it. We're going to go to another replay. We'll show you what happened. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You know what? That really looks like, to me, a wheel hop as he got into the corner. Just the way that the car snapped around so fast. As you're going through the gears, if you don't blip that throttle just right, you're going to do something called a wheel hop. You got to battle for the lead. Mellendorf has caught Eckrich.
Mellendorf has caught Eckrich, and right now he could use that draft, that same draft he pulled on Jake Wright about maybe 2-3 laps ago here at Road America. But I don't know if he's close enough to the back bumper to really get side-by-side with him. This time, Eckrich hard on the brakes, getting a little loose. Oh, we got a side-by-side battle lead!
Whoa, Wright tried to make the dive. Oh, and everybody found the lead. Here comes Mellendorf to the inside. They make contact. Scott Eckrich drifting around, but he's able to save it. Wow!
I'm telling you, road racing has become the new short track. I mean, wow.
You want to see how Scott Eckrich has 4 wins, kids? That's car control. Got Lucas, I think he got helped off of the nose of Mellendorf. Whoa, look at that off in the grass. Is that the 30? That's Minnick. He's just getting out of the way of everybody. So is Mark Norbert there.
Boy.
Woo! Yeah, you're right. Road course racing is the new short track. Wow.
Scott Eckrich in the grass again, gets a little loose. That's going to allow James Krahula.
He was trying to make it go in there, but I'll tell you what, going into the kink is not a recommended passing opportunity unless you want to wreck everybody. But he very wisely rolled out of it, but it killed his momentum down that straightaway. Now working their way through Canada Corner. Whoa, Mellendorf gets on the binders. He's off into the kitty litter. But so is almost everybody behind him. Battle for the lead. Jake Wright, Mellendorf, as they work their way through Thunder Valley, up the Bill Mitchell bend, as they work their way into turn 14, side by side. Wright is going to have the preferred line. Mellendorf to the outside. It's going to be a drag race off the corner.
3 wide at Road America.
Overhit pit road, that's why.
Oh, God.
Krahula hits pit road. So does Mellendorf.
This is some fantastic, awesome racing. Oh, my God. I'm a road racing fan now.
Wow, that was some exciting action working their way around the track. I'm hearing some chatter on the radio. In the in-race radio, there was, I think, an incident.
Jake Wright! Oh, man, almost went off the racetrack. That's going to allow Scott Eckrich to catch him just a little bit, and he's close to that back bumper. If he can use that draft just a little bit, he can get side-by-side, but I think he's just a little too far back to that back bumper.
Yeah, sometimes the art of road racing is to trick your enemies into making a mistake, and so far we've seen that happen out front with everybody. And really what happens is these big heavy cars, you get a lot of wheel spin, and it's burning the rear tires off of these things. So, seeing Mellendorf and Krahula hit pit road a lap early. Let's see here. Yeah, as he hit, these guys hit to pit road a lap early. I'll be curious to see where Mellendorf and Krahula come out in relation to Wright and Eckrich. We see it a lot on the oval racing. Short pitting and getting out there. There you see a battle on screen between Mellendorf and Krahula. They're not going to wait. They're just going to settle it out between themselves right now, but Krahula is going to hold the position through turn 5.
Yeah, the race leaders are coming through the kink at the moment. Scott Eckrich lost a little ground to Jake Wright. I'm just curious if they're going to be pitting this time or what. We'll just have to wait and see. I
think you'd have to. Once you see the guys that you're racing with the way that everybody's sliding their tires around, you see the guys that you're racing with, you hit pit road, you have to get on there quicker.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And since those two guys who were running in third,
fourth,
Eckrich.
Big wiggle off of 13 as he's trying to get it settled in for 14.
That is awesome driving right there. Oh, he goes off the racetrack, but he's going to take it down pit road.
I think get those tires off of that car. They're haunted.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As Jake Wright leads Scott Eckrich down pit road, I believe the pit road speed is, 45
miles an hour. Don't get busted speeding under green flag. It's a 15-second penalty served at the end of your pit stop. So now let's see the battle. We see on screen Krahula working his way through Thunder Valley and up Bill Mitchell Bend into turn 14. Right now, Wright and Eckrich have just hit their boxes now. I have a feeling Krahula's going to come out of here with the lead.
Krahula, they're coming off turn 14. Krahula's already going up the hill, coming to the start-finish line, so he might get the lead right here.
That is impressive. That was a blistering lap
hitting early.
From Krahula.
Wow.
There they go, off of pit road.
He's going to put time on him.
Big advantage.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Brian Mellendorf as well. So Brian Mellendorf, what a call.
That's a brilliant call from those two. But now remember, when you short pit, there's another lap on your tires versus everybody else. So I have a feeling These four guys are going to be like a big accordion. They might be stretched out right now, but as the run goes on, I think they're going to get all back together again.
Yeah, we do have cars exiting pit road. Tommy Ryan is one of those cars as he's now entering turn number 3. Hard right-hander right here, and then you got that long straightaway.
That is. So as pit stops seems to have cycled out, let's do an AdvoCare through the field here on lap number 10. AdvoCare, if you're looking to add some spark to your life, AdvoCare gives you a full line of options from wellness and weight loss to those looking for a little more performance from their active lifestyle. Please contact independent distributor James Krahula at james.krahula@gmail.com or at the link in the description of the video below. So there you see Mr. AdvoCare man himself, James Krahula, sitting in P1 after that very good, I would even say brilliant strategy call. A short hit ahead, 1 lap sooner than Wright and Eckrich. Now he's found himself with about a 1 second lead over our second place driver, Brian Mellendorf. Mellendorf, remember your winner last night in the Grand National Series. He's holding the pretty wheel tonight. Just going to let the race play into his favor. Now we work our way back to Scott Eckrich. 4-time winner on the season already. Some of that car control that we've seen tonight, I'll tell you what, we can see why he's a 4-time winner. You got Jake Wright back there in 4th.
Yeah, Scott
broke his dry spell a couple weeks ago, too.
Scott might be under attack here from Jake Wright. It's looked like Eckrich sideways, drastically sideways off turn number 14. That's going to allow Jake Wright to go by Scott Eckrich for position. That is for position number 3.
That is so. Working our way back, Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll. He is in position number 5. So good run so far for Drew Carroll. Let's see. Yeah, started 10th, working his way up to 5th. Good run.
He has a little clean air to work with too. Not worry about anybody in front of him or being pressured from behind, and that's good too for a car on a road racing, especially in these Gen 6s. So let's see. But the problem is he's about 16 seconds behind. So we'll see what all happens here.
And needs a little bit of a caution, a big incident, but who knows? But you know what? He's running competitive lap time, so we'll have to see. Might be able to work his way up there. In position 6, Ricky Harden, the Martinsville winner. Showing that he's got some good car control himself, Mr. Slideways. You see that car dancing under braking. Goodness gracious.
He spins out. Oh no, dodging.
Just as I started talking about him, and there he goes drifting off of the exit of 5. So now move Harden from 6th back to, I believe that's going to put him in 9th. Yes. Let's go up to Howard. Howard now going to jump up into the 6th position. Howard getting the win last week at Dover, notching himself firmly into the chase under the win column. Tommy Ryan sitting there in 7th, the Bristol winner, now running position number 7 on track. Josh King, great run for him tonight. We don't talk about him a whole awful lot. During the races, he has had a really bad string of luck as the season has unfolded. Just wrong place, wrong time, but having a great run tonight in position number 8. Rounding out your AdvoCare top 10, Jonathan Cadell, after that spin off of Canada corner, has rebounded nicely back up to position number 10.
And we got spin number 14. That's Alec Marshall off of turn number 5 there. He took a spin there. Let's see if we can get a replay up here. What happened to Alec Marshall?
Probably just, we'll see. We'll see what the replay shows.
Down through that long straightaway there. Hard on the brakes, gets on the gas, spins it out. Yeah, he got on the gas a little too hard there on the exit of turn number 5, and that corner can definitely bite you.
Let's see. Jump back here a little bit. Kind of looking on the outside of the top 10, we've got Paul Pepper in the position number 11. Rhett McBride in 12th after had a great first stint to the race.
We got trouble. Number 7, that's Rich Jetty hitting the sand barriers back there. And Nick Cohen goes through the kitty litter as well, but did not hit anything.
These guys are certainly testing the off-road capabilities of these Gen 6 cars, that's for sure.
Oh, he's got heavy damage in the front end of the nose there of Rich Jetty.
Yeah, he's struggling away around that. And I think,
we got another
Calvin
car.
Filarski right behind him. dives off of the track but keeps it going straight.
I want to say these guys are just losing it. I mean, I wonder what the tire fall off is, but oh man, that's tough. I mean, getting on back on the gas and all of a sudden the car wants to step out on you. That's tough.
I'll tell you what, something else that's tough. Krahula's trying to hold off the fight, but I'll tell you what, Mellendorf is all over the rear bumper for the lead. Mellendorf looking to make the move. Nope, he's going to tuck back in line in Canada corner. They work their way out the other side. We're on board with Mellendorf right now. You can look up there and see that rear bumper of Krahula. Mellendorf working his way through turns 13 into 14. This is where he can strike. Gets right up to the rear bumper. He's going to try to get a big run, big head of steam off of turn 14. It's going to be pretty much even there between the 24 and the 41, but the draft might come into play. Let's see here.
He's going for
the nose out.
Going for it.
Got the nose out. Is Krahula going to roll out of it, or is he going to fight him? They're both onto the brakes at the same time. Krahula is going to take the fight into turn 1. Mellendorf is going to have the preferred position, though. But now they're side by side on the exit of 1, working their way through 2, down into 3, side by side once again.
Wow, what another textbook class right there by Brian Mellendorf, as Brian Mellendorf takes the lead for the first time today. No, not the first time today, because I believe him and Scott Eckrich made a little contact earlier.
This will be qualified as his first lap led.
Oh, wow. Well, as these 3 drivers, you can fold over a blanket right now, head down into turn number 5, then they go uphill onto the brakes into turn number 6. As not too far behind, 4 seconds, almost 5 seconds behind. Oh, James Krahula clips the grass area just a little bit there and gets a little sideways. That's allowing Brian Mellendorf to pull away and Jake Wright to catch up.
The thing that you fight here at Road America is fatigue. Really, I mean, when it boils down to it, it takes a lot to wrestle these cars around here. There's a lot of focus. Oh, we got a car. Chad Stallman spun up at the top end of the carousel. He comes back onto the track and spins once again. Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, man.
Woo, he almost made a lot of enemies there. Gets it kind of spun back around. There he goes.
Yeah, he's wide. That's through the carousel, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the carousel biting.
That's a carousel, yeah. He went too hard over the carousel there, and I understand it's tough right there. He's trying to get it wheeled back around, and by the time he's trying to get it wheeled back around, he's got the leaders coming, and that would have been big if the leaders got involved in that.
That would have been beyond big, I think. So now Mellendorf is going to come across the line, lead his first lap of the race, but I think Krahula is going to have bigger issues because he's going to have Jake Wright all over the rear bumper of that AdvoCare machine. Going off into turn 1, Wright is following right into his tire tracks, but I think it's going to be a matter of time before Wright is going to get around Krahula. Working their way kind of through 1A corner there. It's a very slight kink. But now they're working their way into 3. Who's going to be able to lay the horsepower down and get off of the corner better? Is it going to be Krahula or Wright? Looks like Wright might have a small advantage.
Yeah, just a little bit. Krahula does have the smaller advantage. I don't believe Jake Wright's going to get side by side with him at this point. But this is the only battle I'm seeing really its closest for position at the moment. I'll just have to take a look throughout the field to really see.
Just kind of glancing through, yeah, this is pretty much the best battle on track. Eckrich is kind of falling off the back of Wright. Oh, Krahula just lets Wright go. Whoa, Mellendorf got into turn 5 really hot. Who was that up there? That was Rick Thompson.
Yeah, and
Rick Thompson was almost just an innocent bystander on the exit of turn 8 there.
And I'm telling you, Brian, that cost Brian Mellendorf a lot of time because that's going to have Jake Wright catch up to Brian just a little by little, and that is huge. Little by little is huge when it comes to intervals on a road course, especially like Road America. So lap cars can play a big factor here.
I find this fascinating that at a track this big, this many corners, this many different areas to make mistakes, that we've got 3 guys within pretty much a second and a half of each other. That's just a testament to the drivers in this series.
It definitely is, and that's why I mentioned earlier, road racing has become the new short track. Just because these tight corners and all that, and then you come up to another corner that's just close by, and you can easily make a mistake and overdrive. Just like on an oval track, you can easily overdrive a short track. I mean, so it's pretty much the same thing in this case, and you got 3 cars, you could probably fold over a blanket. Actually, it was 4 at one point.
It was right before the first set of pit stops where everybody kind of divided up and split their own ways. But as it stands right now, Mellendorf is your leader with Wright bearing down onto the rear bumper. Krahula has kind of fallen off this pack just a hair. Not terribly much. I would actually probably put him in the popcorn position because Wright decides to get into that corner really aggressively. And maybe some contact between he and Mellendorf. Krahula would be the big beneficiary off of that.
And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, racing fans all over the world, sim racing fans, I mean, even if you do iRacing yourself, you know what kind of physical stress it puts on you when you do road racing. But that's the test of you being a real good driver, is doing road racing. And it's just the ultimate test right there. Ovals are tough too, but ovals are nothing compared to road racing. Even though I'm an oval guy, but I still like the road racing and test my skills out a little bit.
And I think I put a jinx on Josh King because now I look down and he is disconnected from the server. So I wonder if there was some incident there with him. But I just happened to glance down and timing and scoring and seeing that. But back up front, battle for the lead kind of starting to get a little tighter now. 4/10 of a second, 3/10 of a second. Not much separating these two guys going down into Canada corner. Mellendorf is going to hold the advantage this time. And let's see, working their way through Thunder Valley and up towards turn 14. Wright going to be able now to get the power down off of 14 and get that big run, the big head of steam up the front stretch. Ooh, Wright goes a little wide, or not Wright, Mellendorf goes a little wide, nothing major. That's going to keep Wright into the crosshairs right there.
Yeah, as you're watching the front of the leaders there, Brian, I am watching a battle brewing here for the 5th position. That's Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll and Tommy Ryan. These guys are trying to battle, but Tommy Ryan trying to be patient, trying to get that run on exit to get side by side with Drew Carroll. He might do it on the front stretch here.
I think he might. He's close enough to potentially duck out, but I think it ain't more beyond that.
A little too far behind at the moment.
It'd be dive bombing, and here comes the wounded car, Mark Norbert, right out onto the track.
Caught him at the wrong time.
He backed out of it. No, that was smart driving on Norbert. Just looked up at the relatives, saw the leaders marching down on him.
I always say it's a different view from the cockpit. That's for sure.
Yeah, the red mist of war we often talk about, where all that common sense and sensibility of these drivers go right out the window when you put them into the driver's seat. Paddle's still shaping up really good. Ryan going to be I think he's going to be close enough to make a move. Here they go, down into Canada corner, hard onto the braking. I think Carroll took it just a little deeper.
Mellendorf got a little too hard on the brakes, and that's going to allow Jake Wright just to get to his bumper, but it's not enough to go side by side. But I like how Jake Wright's making that carousel nice and wide. Maybe he can get a run. Not quite.
Mellendorf got the better exit of carousel, but I think Wright's been able to get a better run through the kinks. So let's see what happens as they work their way down through Canada corner. Now, this race has gone on pretty quick, kids. We have 12 laps to go, so I would assume pretty much after next time by, you would be seeing anyone up front probably hit pit road for their final pit stop, because you're putting that fuel window there right at about 9 to 10 laps. This is going to be right about the end. You can maybe cook 11 if you save a little bit of fuel, but
I like these guys to go side by side once again, try to burn off them tires, and they'd be like, nope, I'm done, I'm going down pit road, coming off turn number 14. So maybe we'll have to see who's going to make the early pit stop to try to gain that advantage. As we did see James Krahula, he did have a pretty big advantage, but by towards the end of the run, he's currently sitting in the 3rd spot, not too far behind from the race leaders. So I think James Krahula does have something for these top 2 guys.
I think, but now this is going to get interesting here at the end, because you make your first stop early and get the advantage quick, or do you try to make it late and have the fresh tires later on in the stint. I think that's what these drivers, whoa, as we see Mellendorf lock up the front tire there, on his way through 3, but that's just going to let Wright get right onto the rear bumper. 2 car lengths separating out off of the rear bumper. This is my favorite shot. Looking back to the number 27 machine of Wright. Is he going to be close enough to make a move down into Canada corner? No. Mellendorf takes it a little deeper this time and keeps Wright at bay. But on the exit, there you go, let it again. So it'll be curious to see how this one winds up at the end of it. If guys do short pit, if they run this middle stint long.
Mellendorf had a little tiny incident coming off turn number 6. Sorry to interrupt you there, Brian, but it just looked like from the TV camera. But maybe Mellendorf's just messing with my head just a little bit.
Oh, Mellendorf got a little squirrely going through 5. They're going through 9 there. Or 8, there we go. Now they're working their way. I'm getting my corners straight now. Working their way through the carousel. Matt Lacrosse, Matt Lacrosse is on pit road, probably making his final stop of the day. Good run. You see, Battle is still out front. They're leading back down into Canada corner one more time. Mellendorf, he's got Wright. Wright's getting a little bit more racy in that rear view mirror. He's ducking out more in different spots, probably just trying to stay in the mirror. But there you see Krahula. He was about a second and a half off these guys, and I think really what he focused on was just saving the tires, because now he's going to be all over the rear bumper of Wright as they work their way around a slower car. Benny Ellison there in the 0-1 very wisely just gets out of the way and says, go ahead, guys, I'm running my own deal. Krahula to pit road. He is showing his hand. He's going to try to get that early advantage and then probably try to save the tires to the end. He's right here. Yeah, 10 laps to go. That's going to be right on the outer edge of the fuel window, but I believe he'll be able to make it from here.
Scott Eckridge, meanwhile, he will gain a position there. He was about 8 seconds behind.
Jason Swan off on the track as well. I think maybe he just got a little loose and got out of the way. I just happened to glance up and saw a car very slow on the exit of 1. He's still fighting with that car. He's got evil. Krahula hit pit road. Tommy Ryan, Drew Carroll, Ricky Harden.
Battle for a lead could be shaping up here, Brian. Jake Wright looked underneath, gets on our brakes a little earlier, and Brian Mellendorf, he might have overdriven just a little bit.
Here he is, battling, leading up to turn 6. Wright, oh goodness. Wright was trying to get there, but he wisely backed out of it, not creating contact between the two. Now we see, as they work their way down Hurry Downs and into turn 8. Battle is still settled in about 2 car lengths apart. It really seems like Wright gets into the carousel and through the middle a lot better than Mellendorf, but I think Mellendorf is taking it easy, so he gets that phenomenal run on exit.
Yeah, I don't want to drive into the corner really hard at all. I just want to get the better exit, so that's just my own personal preference, and usually it works out just fine, and I keep the fenders on it. But sometimes I always say, if you still have your 4 fenders on that race car, you didn't drive it hard enough. So,
well, that might be, especially if road course racing is the new short tracks. I mean, you got to keep all the fenders on it, but hey, you know what? You can dent them a little bit.
Oh yeah, we've seen these guys play a little bit earlier in the race before that first pit stop, so we get, we might be shaping, no, maybe not.
Well, Mellendorf, let's see, are they going to hit pit road?
I'm wondering who's going to hit pit road right here. Oh no,
Mellendorf following Marshall, and Marshall's in the way, he's going to hold up both of them. Mellendorf making a very aggressive move getting onto pit road. He's going to track, he trapped Jake Wright behind Alec Marshall. Oh my.
They didn't see any kind of form of communication on who's telling what, but man, oh man, that could have been big right there at the entrance of pit road.
And James Krahula now working his way through Canada corner.
Mellendorf's really slow. Something's wrong with Brian Mellendorf.
Was that maybe a pit violation? What's going on with Mellendorf?
Is he out of fuel? Mellendorf might be out of fuel, but I can't. I can't see that.
He'd be out of fuel.
Something's wrong with Brian Mellendorf here, ladies and gentlemen. Really slow on pit road.
Krahula's at the line now.
Krahula's getting a big old lead.
He is. He's going to be able to hold on to it.
Jake Wright's leaving pit road. Mellendorf is not. Mellendorf is in his pit box.
That's heartbreaking. Now he's finally hit pit road. Maybe he was out of fuel. That boy, that's bizarre.
He's still getting 4 fresh tires on that car, and right now I would assume, I think he was out of fuel. That's the only reason.
Normal pit time.
That was a normal pit time, yeah. So it's either could be he was out of fuel or had some hardware issue. That's the only 2 possible reasons I can think of. He could be that slow on pit road. So who knows? Maybe if he finishes in the top 3 or if he shows up, maybe we'll have to ask him about that.
We'll have to see. Right now, he has fallen back into the clutches of Drew Carroll in 6th. He's gotten around Carroll now, and now Mellendorf is position 5 on track. Going to have a pretty tough road to hoe to get up to Eckrich, though. Eckrich, all of our leaders have pitted for their final time, so now I'm imagining that this is going to be it. The battle now is going to lie between James Krahula and Jake Wright. Krahula right now has about a 4-second lead over Wright, so I'll be curious to see as the laps wind down who is going to be kind of laying off it, who's going to be aggressive with it.
Hey, I'm wondering, Brian, we're on lap 19. I think they can make it on fuel from here, correct? Out of 27 laps.
I mean, I know everybody that just was on pit road can make it. The only one I'd be questioning would be Krahula and everybody that pitted 1 lap ago, because that's pushing right about the outer edge of the fuel window. But
9 to 11 laps, yeah, that's wow.
I'm just going to say that the unacceptable racing boys, they probably know their fuel strategy. Krahula caught Rick Thompson at the wrong moment through turn 14 and gave up a huge chunk of time.
Yeah, lap cars can get in the way and it can interrupt the leader's time, and that is rarely frustrating to a driver, but they're doing their own thing too out on the racetrack. It's not like they're doing anything wrong. It's just, you catch up. We got something going with Brian Mellendorf here.
Mellendorf going on to the attack of Ryan. Mellendorf is going to have the high wide outside, but he's going to be able to get that run down the front stretch. I think he is. Wow, that was a power move from the outside.
Well, he does have a lap fresher tires than Tommy Ryan, and
he might be a
Mellendorf.
little angry too.
He might be a little angry too, and that could help you drive harder or better.
I know.
However,
I'm always worth 2 extra tenths if I'm angry.
Oh yeah, time to show that angry face and get on up there. Brian Mellendorf getting on the mic there. I didn't really quite make out what he said.
Exchanging pleasantries with Tommy Ryan. Just please, thank you.
Oh, wow. I'm scratching my head. I'm still trying to do my math here, Brian, and I'm telling you, my only question is James Krahula have enough fuel to make it in the end? Because he pitted with approximate 10 laps to go in the race, and that is about the fuel window. So
he was on pit road with 10 to go. So I think he'll make it. I'm really sure he'll make it. He might run out on the cool down lap, but I think he'll make it. Not too far behind
Jake Wright. He's caught him, or I should say he's caught him, but he's getting closer and closer.
You know what? My director brings up a good point today. The fuel numbers that we got were in sunny weather, and in overcast you do burn a little bit more fuel each lap. So maybe with Mellendorf being out of fuel, that might not be that far out of the realm of possible. Which then, if I'm sitting in the driver's seat of that number 24 machine, I'm going to be really nervous.
Oh man, I don't know. I always say, because these long straightaways here at Road America, they don't help. You got to be on that gas. And from my understanding on the iRacing Sim, the more you're on that gas, the more you burn off that fuel, obviously, and it goes down quicker than you think. So, and I don't know if he's trying to conserve right now. That's why Jake Wright has pretty much caught him. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not James Krahula. I'm not sitting in that cockpit, listening to his radio. But I'm still scratching my head with 10 laps to go, though, because he has been pitting a lap earlier than the other leaders.
It's going to be the interesting play. I don't know. I think that those guys know what they're doing. I'm sure they do. So we'll find out. But the bigger issue for Krahula is how long is he going to be able to hold off Wright? Wright is consistently about a second to a second and a quarter faster each and every single lap. Let's jump back really quick to P9. Rhett McBride and who's that? Paul Pepper. side by side going into turn one. Give the position to Rhett McBride. Good textbook pass going in there to turn one.
That was a great pitch perfect textbook pass by Rhett McBride right there. And now he has clean air ahead of him. Isn't really being pressured by Paul Pepper.
Oh,
Paul Pepper! Wow, did you see him? Wow.
He was, pardon the pun, but he was shaking like a salt shaker off that corner.
The virtual driver inside the car was left, right, heavy, and that usually. Oh, we got P12 battle.
Battle for 12 right there on screen. I talked about him a little bit, but Nick Cohen, not a road course racer, but he's making it work up to battling Dan Murray, your AdvoCare 300 Daytona champion. The beginning race of the season, they're getting a good battle for 12, but I have a feeling,
Murray, wow, Murray had a little, and that's going to allow Nick Cohen to be side by side with him. As these guys battle, he's clear. He will take that position away from Dan Murray.
And I think Murray very wisely just decided, yeah, I'm just going to roll out of that one. They're going to go side by side. Oh no, they're going Dan!
Oh no!
Oh, he's found the kitty litter.
The race course, and that's another thing with iRacing is that these drivers, I would assume they're on DX11. You can actually literally see the grass and the kitty litter on the tires, and you have to shake the wheel to try to get all that stuff off as quickly as possible. So that's wow, big moment there, and I think we got battle for the lead.
We're going to have a battle for the lead here, going down into turn 5. Krahula on top. Right onto the middle. Wright's going to have the battle. He's going to have the preferred line. Krahula fighting, though. They're working their way up the hill into turn 6. I think it's a losing battle, though, because Wright back on the preferred line again. He's going to push Krahula wide, just a hair there. Move Jake Wright to the lead with 6 laps to go.
And if you're scratching your head on fuel, man, I don't know how much you want to battle with Jake Wright right now, because it looked like he was with Jake Wright side by side just a little too long. If he was really trying to play conservative on fuel, he probably would have just let Jake Wright go just a little bit. But, man, I don't know. How about you viewers who are watching this broadcast today? I mean, feel free to help us out. I mean, what is your opinion? Do you think James Krahula could probably make it on fuel?
It's going to be tight. Like I said, I think he can get there, but we'll just have to see. As the race kind of unfolds. Now, I'm saying 5 laps to go, and typically in an oval race, like, there's a big sense of urgency. Not so much at this place. It's a 2-minute lap, so we still got a number of minutes of racing out there for you.
You do not, and I repeat, you do not want to run out of fuel at a 4-mile road course. Oh, man, that would just be ouch.
That would certainly not be the way to go at that one. I mean, you can try that strategy, but I don't think it's going to work out that good for you.
It's even more frustrating when you got a car that you could possibly compete for the win with. And James Krahula, he's led laps, he's competed for the lead, and he's been up there in the top 5 or top 3. So he knows he can win this race. It's just a matter of, does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Because he did pit with 10 laps to go, and the fuel window is 9 to 11 laps. So the only person that knows how much fuel is in that car is James Krahula himself, and I am not seeing James Krahula really catching Jake Wright.
Wright's just slip sliding away, very nice and clean like. Josh, the bassist out there watching the YouTube stream, he said maybe banking on a caution. Around here, when it's up to the admin discretion, it'd be a bold strategy, beyond bold, to maybe bank for a caution. But, stranger things have happened in the universe. Now we're on 5 to go, so now actually caution would be detrimental to the cause.
It would, and from my understanding, the race admins or the race officials who are being the off-track officials who are watching this race in case something big goes down, they would only throw the caution flag if it's a big major incident, from my understanding. So, and right now we got a lot of cars throughout the course, they're all spread out. So, and if a caution did come out, something big happened and a caution did come out, I believe that might end the race with 5 laps to go, and iRacing does not do green-white checkers, so
for sure.
I don't know what's going to happen here. It's going to be tough. I got to keep an eye on James Krahula, because that's the one I'm really wondering about right now.
That it is, and I've been corrected on YouTube. That was Josh King that was giving us the info there, but out front, Still all smooth sailing for Wright. Matt Lacrosse going to jump out of the way there. Matt Lacrosse, I believe, is he a Michigan boy or is he a Wisconsin boy? I'm trying to see here. Michigan.
Lacrosse, Michigan boy. He's a Michigan boy.
Wisconsin guy, but no, he's a Wisconsin guy. Or,
yeah,
I said
Michigan.
Yeah. Michigan.
Yeah, if we were racing at the Michigan International Speedway, we would be pointing at Matt Lacrosse, but
we will, and we will be there later on this year.
I'm a Wisconsin guy. I'm about a half an hour away from the racetrack of Road America, depending upon traffic. So if traffic was heavy, 40 minutes give or take. But I like coming to this racetrack every year to the NASCAR Xfinity Series races. I haven't really made any kind of decision on the IndyCar Series, but it's in the back of my mind.
Whereas we talked about being close to your local track, I'm a healthy 4-hour drive from Michigan International Speedway, so that puts me being in Michigan. That's a quite a hefty drive over to Road America, no matter which way I slice it, either going up through the beautiful UP or over. Battle for what is that position? Nope. Oh, just Murray just was on pit road there, so some fresh tires and getting around Scott Eckrich, who is holding the third step of the podium quite nicely. A good, healthy 11 seconds over Brian Mellendorf.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, approximately, actually not approximately, this is actually an official number right here, 12 cars currently on the lead lap in this race so far. From 13th on back are a lap down, and if for some reason we do get a big, huge incident on the track or something like that, and a caution does come out, a full course caution, Matt Lacrosse would be your lucky dog.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're probably not going to see any of those.
We're not even going to see Brutus today.
You know, yeah, that's unfortunate. We're not going to see Brutus, but we will see him next week at Charlotte, where the series is going to be the second leg in the AdvoCare Fast 5. Started with Daytona. Ooh, Krahula getting wide on the exit of Canada Corner, catching a little bit of kitty litter and dirt. You see on screen Drew Carroll, Tommy Ryan battle for position 6. That's not Tommy Ryan.
That's Ricky Harden. That's Ricky Harden. Not Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan's ahead in 5th place. But yeah, Drew Carroll and Ricky Harden, this is pretty much the closest battle on the race course so far. Other than that, it's pretty much the race leaders. But the closest one I'm seeing, oh wow, Matt Lacrosse making it wide, letting everybody go through here. That's Scott Eckrich getting around Matt Lacrosse. But yeah, the closest battle I'm seeing is for P6, position 6.
And it's not very close not that close for very long. Gap is spread out there between those two. Kind of keeping an eye out front, but we'll take a look at this battle. 0.7 of a second separating Ricky Harden and Drew Carroll.
Mellendorf being all by himself on the track, Mr. Lonely as he's entering turn number 1, nobody around him. He's about 28 seconds behind the race leaders. And man, oh man, I still wonder what happened to Brian Mellendorf. He must have ran out of gas or had some kind of hardware issues or something like that must have happened, because I don't see him being that slow on pit road before.
I know in road racing, if you take a corner, take a shortcut, the game the game server will penalize you 2 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever the advantage was. I wonder if he made that very bold move on Alec Marshall, if that somehow triggered something in the iRacing software that maybe made him do a slowdown, but no, he coasted into pit road, so.
I am sorry, Brian, but we have a battle brewing up for the 6th position. I thought Ricky Harden almost got into the corner a little too hard, but he didn't make any kind of contact whatsoever, as he has caught Drew Carroll once again. Now it's just a matter of trying to pass him cleanly and safely.
That is the case. Let's see if Harden is going to be able to complete the task going down into hurry downs into turn 8. And then they're going to come around to the carousel a couple more times, but this time in particular, 3 laps to go on screen. Battle there. This is the best battle on screen between Harden and Carroll. Looking out the rear bumper of Carroll, back to the front bumper of Harden. Let's see, going through the kink. Harden gets a little aggressive there, but he's going to hold it nice and tidy on exit. He's going to be all over the rear bumper of Carroll here. Carroll's going to give him the outside lane, but that's not the preferred lane going into Canada Corner, side by side. Carroll with a very smart defensive maneuver, but he almost took it a little bit too much. Crossover, tried to make it work. Harden all over the rear bumper of Carroll as they work their way up Thunder Valley towards turn 14. Harden in the 15, Carroll in the 87. Working their way through turns 14, onto the long front stretch. Who's going to get a good run here? I think Carroll got off the corner a little better, but
Harden,
that gap is shrinking.
There is corners of the racetrack where Harden is just a little better than Carroll, and then you get on the other side of the racing course where Carroll's just a little better on the exits. So to me, it's almost like in this first part of the road course, Harden gets a little better run on exit.
And
he's side
Carroll
by side.
taking a very defensive line into turn 3, stopping the momentum of Harden in the 15, working their way down through turns 3. Now they're down the very small turn 4, on their way down the moraine sweep into turn 5. This is going to be a battle. Harden going to try to duck low. Here he goes. Harden's going to have the preferred group going into turn 5, onto the binders. Cars backfiring as they get down through the gears. Give the position to Harden on the exit. Carroll's going to fight back on the outside. I think it's going to be a losing battle up through turn 6 and 7. Yeah, Harden's got the groove. He's got the lane now. So move Harden up to position 6.
Yeah, Drew Carey kind of had to give that up. He had a nice run coming off turn number 5 on the outside lane there, but just couldn't really make it stick anymore in uphill and into turn 6. These drivers are now, Harden almost in the kill. He pretty much got into the kill here just a little bit, but man, he was playing defensive right there.
Driver that is having smooth sailing right now is the driver of the number 27 machine, Jake Wright. He has taken the white flag. Last lap around Road America. Is Krahula going to have anything for him? And I think Krahula would be banking on a mistake of the driver of that number 27. Haven't seen him put a wheel off wrong too bad. A couple little slides here and there, but really this race is in the control of Jake Wright. Finally etched off his first win of the season at Richmond a couple weeks ago. Locked himself into the chase, and now he's working on win number 2.
Holy man, he lost a lot of time exiting turn number 3. James Krahula did. And at first, when I was just looking at his speed, if he was running out of fuel or what, because this is his fuel window, and I'm not sure. Oh man, he almost loses it, and he must have enough fuel because he's still trying to gain everything he can in each corner to make up any kind of time he can. But I don't know. I think he's a little too far away from Jake Wright, and I think Jake Wright might have this race locked up.
I'm not saying anything yet. I've
seen a lot of things happen on the final corner before, so
yep.
We'll see.
Jake Wright working his way through the carousel one final time, holding a very smooth and steady wheel on exit. Didn't put a tire off Strange. He's going to hold it together through the kink. Gap is expanding over Krahula there. Gap is, about 2.5 seconds now. So providing some kind of terrible thing, I think Wright is going to be able to tie this one away. Working their way.
Biggest.
Canada Corner one more time through Thunder Valley. Up Bill Mitchell Bend, working his way to turn 14. And as long as he can get through turn 14, you got a little squirrely going into 13 in there. But here he comes, Jake Wright. Gonna be your winner today at the Lionheart IndyCar Series 175K at Road America. Jake Wright brings home his second victory of the season.
What a race. And I'm telling you, that the battle, my favorite portion of the race was before they made that first pit stop. That was extremely entertaining when it came to road racing. But congratulations to Jake Wright on the win at Road America.
Yeah, where's he on screen? We're going to kind of jump back through here.
Krahula's out of gas, I believe, now.
I told you he was going to cut it short. Scott Eckert's going to round out your podium. Mellendorf, after his mysterious issue, he's going to jump into position number 4, rounding out your top 5. Tommy Ryan working his way up the hill and across the start-finish line. So with that being said, we're going to go to break. We'll come back on the other side with a full field rundown, driver interviews, and we'll wrap this show up and head us on down the road. So, once again, Jake Wright, your winner at Road America. Welcome back to Road America, where we've seen Jake Wright bring home his second victory on the season, definitely locking in his spot in the chase. And more importantly, other than Scott Eckrich, the first repeat winner of the year. So, with that being said, let's go do a full field rundown for you. Jake Wright winning the race today. James Krahula second. Scott Eckrich rounding out your podium. Brian Mellendorf in fourth. We will talk to all of those guys post-race because we're all kind of curious to what happened to Mellendorf there. Tommy Ryan finishing position number 5. Ricky Hardin sixth. Drew Carroll in 7th, followed by Jonathan Cadell in 8th after a nice little recovery from his spin off of Canada corner. Rhett McBride 9th, and Paul Pepper rounding out the top 10.
And outside the top 10, you got Jesse Fowler finishing in the 11th position. Nick Cohan finishing 12th tonight. Started 27th. What a heck of a run at a road course, 4-mile road course for Nick Cohan here tonight. Rich Jetty finishes 13th. Matt Lacrosse will finish 14th. 15th is Kevin Filarski. 16th is Don Runkle Jr. 17th, Rick Thompson. 18th is Benny Ellison. 19th is Dan Murray. And Chan Stallman runs out the top 20.
Drivers that had an unfortunate end to their night: Alec Marshall in 21st, 22nd to Jason Swan. Ryan Howard, 23rd, your winner last week. Josh King, 24th, 25th to Mark Norbert. 26th to Jeff Ward. Brandon Minnick in 27th. Woodrow Mahan in 28th. And Jody Green rounding out the top 29 in 29th. George Anzaldo and Bertel Surfs on screen did not turn a lap, so they, I guess you could call them starting park drivers for this race. But with that being said, let's pull down and let's talk to the driver that finished third place, Scott Eckrich. Scott, it looked like you guys were sliding around even with the cooler track temperature and the overcast skies. How was that from the driver's seat?
Oh, it was definitely a handful. These stock cars, I don't think were ever designed for these type of courses. So you really got to manhandle them around here.
That is for sure. Now, we saw some great racing up front, even a little bit of contact where you went sliding sideways. Was that contact, or did you just get a little hot through their turn 6?
I thought that car in front of us was going to be an issue, so I was trying to get over, and I think Mellendorf was trying to make his move there, and it just a whole bunch of cars coming together at one time.
Gotcha. So, we thought you had a good shot at it through pit road, through the pit cycle. It seems like short pitting was almost the best option. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was right there on the edge. James seemed to make the short pit work, and where on the other hand, Brian, got bit on the other end of that. So, it's just, I guess it was how good you are with saving that fuel for that run.
That is. Now, really, my final question for you, Scott, is there anywhere that you're not fast?
Oh yeah, I mean, hot laps I could get down here. I didn't have the race pace to hang with those guys that are a little more road course apt than I am. So.
But I will say this: we are heading off to Charlotte next week. Your bread and butter 1.5 mile speedways. You got something for them next week?
I hope so. We'll have to find out.
You know why I like you, Scott? You're modest, and you don't tote your own success. 4 wins on the year, and you're still saying, we'll see what happens. But great finish today, rounding out the top 3. We'll see you on down the road next week at Charlotte.
Alrighty, thank you.
That was Scott Eckrich. And Tanner, you have caught up with a man of, not known as a man of few words, James Krahula, our second place finisher.
And I have caught up with James Krahula, who's going to finish in the second position tonight here at Road America. And James, man, I know you were definitely excited about Road America today, and especially over the finish. But towards the end there, you did say you, from my understanding, you ran out of gas at the start-finish line. Could you try to catch Jake right there, try to battle for the lead there, or was he just too quick, or are you playing conservative, or what were you doing in the final laps?
Well, the goal was to get a lead and make Jake wear out his stuff trying to catch me, and I got held up by I caught a lap car at the worst part of the track, and that cost me 2 seconds right there, and so that allowed him to catch me about a lap or 2 quicker than I was really needing him to. So by the time he got to me, he just flew on by, and then our tires started to equalize a little bit, and I felt like I could have held him off if I had another lap or 2. So that was the goal. We were gonna the running out of fuel, that wasn't a big deal. I wasn't backing off or anything. We were just going to sputter going across the line. But that was, that was fantastic. For 27 laps, I was just on in full concentration mode, and that was just absolutely incredible. I've never had so much fun in a race before.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we were having fun up here in the broadcast booth before the first round of pit stops even began. You could fold 4 cars yourself over a blanket. Yourself, Scott Eckrich, Jake Wright, and Brian Mellendorf. You guys were all battling right there. I'm telling you, I don't know how it felt like in the cockpit view, but man, from the booth here, it was just some fantastic road racing. As I like to call it, was the road racing or short. It's just the new short track of road racing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to paint a giant smiley face on my helmet for next week, because that's exactly what I was doing in the car. That was so much fun racing with Brian, Jake, and Scott there. And wow, that was, especially those couple laps and everything when we were right there. That was, that was just crazy. I don't really have words for it. That was just completely nuts.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned next week, as next week we are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on May 24th. And we are in NASCAR's backyard racing of Charlotte. And is that a track that you think you got a chance to compete for the win there?
I like the longer distances, so I'm really looking forward to it. In Charlotte, we're racing 400 miles next week. I mean, we're not messing around. So we're going in there. And this will actually be, I'm going to jump over to league owner and promoter at this point. We have our first AdvoCare Fast 5 race next week. So these 5 guys here have a chance to race for an extra $50 if one of these 5 drivers can win next week. And that's Dan Murray, Scott Eckridge, Rich Jetty, Joe Hassert, and Jonathan Cadell. Those are your top 5 finishers from the Daytona 300 earlier this year. So if one of those guys wins, they're heading home with an extra $50. And so that's going to be an extra little bit of excitement that we're going to have going into next week.
I tell you what, as a race fan, sim racing fan, and being up here in the broadcast booth, that just makes me want to watch that race next week, and I'm proud to be even calling it as well, too. So thank you for calling or talking with us, James. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we will see you at the Charlotte Motor Speedway next week.
Thanks, guys. Go buy some AdvoCare, and congratulations again to Jake Wright. I've never been, that was the most I've ever been in front of him at a road course, and that was the first time I've ever been in front of him at a road course at any point. So it was fantastic actually getting to keep up with him and race him at this point. But man, the kid's good. He has these road courses.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you, James, and we will see you at Charlotte next week. And how about it, Brian? You caught up down in Victory Lane here at Road America with Jake Wright.
That is, the champagne is flying in the air. It's going to be the non-alcoholic kind, because I believe Jake Wright cannot partake in that. So we're spraying the soda down here. Jake, tell us about your victory today.
Tonight was an amazing race. We started third, I believe, after the open qualifying, which was very interesting with these cars. Pretty much the whole race, we were just kind of chilling, waiting, see what happened, and eventually we were able to get past a few of those guys, and we took it home.
That was the case. When you saw Krahula dive off, did your spotter tell you that, hey, you need to hit pit road next time by?
No, from the beginning I was planning to stay till after lap 8 or 9, which he pit just a little bit early, so I was trying to figure out if he was going to be able to make it on fuel or not, but no, I decided I was going to stay out at least 1 lap longer.
Gotcha, and that brought you the victory. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you picked up the victory in the Lionheart IndyCar series here last week or the week before, so that kind of makes you 2 for 2 at Road America. Do you kind of wish that they ran this series or this track everywhere?
Oh yeah, this is an amazing track, and I always enjoy racing here, no matter what the car is. I really enjoy these road courses, no matter what car it is. So I'm looking forward to the next road course as well, which I believe is Sonoma. But I would definitely race more Road America if they put it on the schedule.
That is, with the way that you're driving this place, definitely looked like it was right in your backyard. But now you got your second win on the year. you're definitely locked into the chase, and you join Scott Eckrich as the only repeat winner of the year. So, how are you going to approach the rest of the season, fully knowing that you are fully locked into the chase? Is it kind of opening up to be a little bit more dangerous on strategy, or did you just kind of stick with the horse that brought you here?
Well, I've just decided that I'm just going to race each race the way I would for any other. Being in the chase definitely helps, knowing that there isn't any pressure on me to get that first win or second win, but I'll just tackle each race aggressively. I'm going for more wins, but we'll see what happens.
Sounds good. Any kind of final thoughts before we let you celebrate your victory and go on back about your day?
Yeah, I'd like to thank some people. I want to thank my spotter for tonight, Pierre Daigle, and my sponsor, SurveySystem.com, and the Lionheart IndyCar Series for sponsoring this race, and everybody over here at PRL. I've had a bunch of fun running with you guys.
Sounds great. That's we're going to see you up on the road next week at Charlotte. So until then, we'll catch you next week, Jake.
See you next week.
All right. Now, Tanner, Road America is known for being kind of a bit of a fickle beast, and you've caught up with a driver that certainly kind of knows that expression.
I definitely has, and he had a big chance to compete for the win here tonight. And Brian, man, oh man, we were watching you battle there on pit road. Looked like a lap car got in the way. Can you explain to us what happened on pit road? How come you were so slow on coming down there?
Yeah, I just caught all kinds of cars in the wrong places. Congrats to Jake. He was super fast. Such a well-deserved win. I hope everyone had fun watching that, because it was a blast to race and compete against everyone tonight. I feel like I should channel my inner Carl Edwards and give an interview like that, but I don't know. We'll see. I just run out of fuel. That's it.
Wow, I don't know. We were kind of scratching our heads what was going on. I was just pointing out it could have been a fuel issue or some kind of hardware issue, but man, well, that pretty much took you out of contention for the win, but it still gets you a nice, solid top 5 finish, a 4th place finish here tonight. And I'm telling you, you were folded over a blanket with 3 other cars: Brian Yazik, Jake Wright, and James Krahula, battling for the race lead before the first round of pit stops. What was it like during that time in the cockpit view of Brian Mellendorf?
I was hoping that Jake would go and get by James, and he slipped enough, and I knew from when we raced here over our winter heat series that I knew how to pass in the cup car. I never figured it out last night in the Xfinity race, but definitely knew how to get the job done tonight. Was either really good on the brakes or I completely missed the corner. So passed a lot of cars, caught cars in the wrong place, made a lot of mistakes, mowed too much grass, killed too many mosquitoes, and run out of gas. It's something you don't want to do.
Yeah, definitely, especially at a 4-mile road course. But in your case, you kind of got lucky since it happened on pit road. But sure lost some time, but a nice, solid top 5 finish tonight, as next week we head to the Charlotte Motor Speedway into NASCAR's backyard. Are you going to be a contender there to try to go for the win there?
I've been gaining on it on the 1.5s. I'm better when it's hot and slick. It's probably going to be pretty fast, lots of grip, unfortunately, for me. So we'll see what we can do. Top 10 for sure. I feel we're confident about that. Just be a long race, hopefully lots of attrition. I know I'll have the stamina to run the whole thing and at 100%. So we'll see what we got.
Well, Brian, thank you for coming to talk with us tonight. We were wondering what was happening on pit road. We couldn't really document what it really was, but thank you for clarifying that for us here tonight, and we will see you next week at Charlotte.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Well, Brian, Road America's done today. Any final thoughts before we pack up out of here for Road America and head down to Charlotte?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a fantastic race today on the road course. A lot of these guys really, really, some of them had better days than others, but we saw some great battles all over the screen. But yeah, I'd say we're gonna move this show down the road to Charlotte, pack up all the trucks and all the equipment, and try not to leave Tanner behind up here in Wisconsin. So with that being said, let's close her down. So. We want to thank you to our presenting sponsor of the race, the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We also want to thank our league sponsors, AdvoCare. If you're looking to add some spark to your life, AdvoCare gives you a full line of options from wellness and weight loss to those looking for a little more performance of their active lifestyle. Please contact independent distributor James Krahula at james.krahula@gmail.com or at the link in the description below. Savage Spinners for our pole award. Savage Spinners, unique river and stream lures created in the Pacific Northwest. Handmade quality from the United States to entice fish at an affordable cost. And Coastal Safety Auditors. Unfortunately, we did not see Brutus the Lucky Dog tonight as there were no cautions, but Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Also, thank you to series organizer James Krahula. Thank you to the software and the hardware that we use for our broadcast that you can see listed on the screen right now. Thank you to the team today, Tanner, Tanner, Amjad, and Dougie. And if you'd like to find out more about the Global Sim Racing Channel, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. A special thank you to Eric Eckholm and Casey Lalonde, who both provide music for our broadcasts. Their music can be found at the locations listed on the screen as well. Next race, we talked about it, May 24th, the AdvoCare World 400 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We also have other upcoming races on screen that you can check them out, mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.